If you marry a Canadian citizen, do you automatically become a citizen too? The short answer is no, and making assumptions about this rule could cost you years of delays or even legal trouble. Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada IRCC explicitly states there is no direct shortcut or special citizenship path just because you are married to a Canadian. However, there is a legal two-step pathway from spousal sponsorship to full citizenship. Today on the Travel Hub, we are breaking down the official conditions, the physical presence rules, and the exact process foreign spouse must follow to get a Canadian passport. First, let's clear up the biggest misconception in global immigration. Unlike some countries where marriage grants fast-track citizenship, Canada treats every spouse like other citizenship applicant. The reality, marrying a Canadian citizen only opens the door for your spouse to sponsor you from permanent residency. You must become a permanent resident first before you can even think about applying for citizenship. So, how does the process actually work? Before you can apply for citizenship, your Canadian partner must sponsor you for permanent residence. Here are the core conditions set by IRCC. First, the Canadian sponsor must be at least 18 years old, citizen or permanent resident living in Canada, and not receiving social assistance unless for disability. The second point is the sponsor signs a legal binding agreement to financially support the foreign spouse for 3 years after permanent residence is granted. The other point is IRCC inspects relationship profile and joint leases, financial ties, photos, and communication history to confirm the marriage is genuine and not solely for immigration. The other core point is if you were previously sponsored to come to Canada as a spouse, you cannot sponsor a new spouse for at least 5 years. Once you receive your permanent resident status, the path to citizenship officially begins. To qualify for a Canadian passport, foreign spouse must meet the official citizenship conditions. The first condition is the 1,095-day rule. You must be physically present in Canada for at least 3 full years within the 5 years immediately before applying. Days spent in Canada as a visitor, student, or worker before getting permanent resident can count as half days toward your 1,095 days. Also, you must file taxes in Canada for at least 3 calendar years during the 5-year window. As a last condition, applicants aged 18 to 54 must prove language proficiency in English or French, CLB4 or higher, and pass the official Canadian citizenship test. Before you go, here are 3 bonus tips that can save you thousands of dollars and months of waiting time during your application. Apply for Spousal Open Work Permit right away. If you apply for spousal sponsorship from inside Canada inland sponsorship, you don't have to sit around waiting for permanent resident to work. You can apply for an open work permit at the same time. This lets you legally work for any Canadian employer while IRCC processes your residency. The other point you have to know is if you lived in Canada legally as a student, worker, or visitor before getting your permanent resident, every day you spend in Canada counts as a half day toward your citizenship calculation up to a maximum of 365 days. Keep all your old entry stamps, study permits, and work permits so you can claim the days early. As a last point, if you apply for inland sponsorship and leave the country for a vacation, emergency, or a family visit, and border officer denies your entry into Canada, your entire sponsorship application could be cancelled. If you need to travel frequently, talk to immigration lawyers or apply under the outlined route instead. So while a marriage to a Canadian is not an instant ticket to a passport, following the spousal sponsorship to permanent resident route is one of the most reliable ways to make Canada your permanent home. Are you or someone you know going through the Canadian spousal sponsorship process? Drop your questions or experience in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, give it a big thumb up. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an episode on the Travel Hub. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.